Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6. So, since Season 1 of The Flash, we've had 5 big bads, which, makes complete sense because, well, we've had 5 seasons. So we've had 3 speedsters in the form of Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, Hunter Zolomon, aka Zoom, and of course Pizza Face, aka Future Barry, who was a Time Remnant, aka Savitar. Then in Season 4 and 5, we moved to non-speedster villains and just people that were just, in general affected with dark matter, that were posed as big enough threats due to their powers as well as their plans. Those two, of course, being Clifford DeVoe, aka The Thinker, and Grace Gibbons from the future, aka Cicada, with Season 5 including like a side order of Uncle All and Cicada as the villain. But heading into Season 6, we didn't get a tease or that much of a hint as to who would or could be the big bad for Season 6. Certain things were name dropped or even introduced throughout parts of Season 5, but nothing like the DeVoe name drop in Season 3, or the Cicada scene that was supposed to be at the end of Season 4, but was deleted and just, shoved into the Season 5 trailer. But, well, we finally have some intel about the Season 6 villain. While being minor, it is something for us to discuss. So of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various thoughts and opinions on what we go over, and what you're thinking, and what you think it could mean heading into Season 6, and just all of your just general thoughts, and also any other questions you might have about this this season. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like to show your support. So The Flash will start filming Season 6 in around the next month or so roughly, and of course, we will be getting our main characters back for the most part, but as you would expect going into a new season, we will also be getting some new characters introduced as well, whether that be big roles or just like medium-sized roles or even small roles. So they will appear every now and then throughout the season, but something that has come out over the past few days has been our first little piece of information on the Season 6 villain. As I said, it's not the biggest and like wow piece of information or intel in the world, but it is something to get our brains ticking. And it also cancels out some theories that people had about the big bad for the upcoming season. So this information or intel is coming from TV Line, who, tend to get some of the exclusive pieces of information or just quotes from people involved with the show. But this is what they specifically put down on their fall casting intel post on their site. Season 6 will introduce a new male big bad, and rumor has it producers are eyeing diverse actors for the part. Now, Flash last season did something which I think a lot of people did overlook, which is that the big bad was a female. And for a male-led show, that is a fairly big deal. You really don't see that a lot. Like, female big bad, fair enough. But in regards to a male-led show, having a female big bad, it's a fairly big thing, especially with TV. On the movie side of things, that's a bit, different. It's more prevalent over there. But on the TV side of things, it isn't the most common thing. But the main things to really look at when going off this little piece of intel are firstly that it will be a new male big bad, so a new character. So many people have been theorizing that Reverse Flash would be back as the big bad for this season, which I haven't been supporting, as he, in my opinion at least, should only return as the big bad for the final season of the show. It's much better time to have, him back as the main threat. So the character will not only be a new potential masked character that we are yet to see on the show, but also the person under the mask will be someone that we have never seen before. And the second big thing is that the producers, apparently going off rumors according to TV Line, are looking for diverse actors for the part, which could mean, many things. It could be in regards to race, age, sexuality, social status, meme knowledge. Who knows what they are specifically referring to there? But who could this villain be? Like, who is the most likely option? Well, let's go over the options that are out there. Of course, let me know your thoughts on them as well as like any other options I may have not listed in this video. Just let me know all of them in the comments. And you will notice that in this video, all the options we have there, basically all speedsters or speedster connected, just because I think that's what they're going to go with in Season 6. I think they're going to go back to sort of like a speedster type villain, not necessarily straight up a speedster villain, but a speedster type or speedster like villain. So the first option is the one that I think a lot of people have at the top of their list, or at least towards the top of their list in regards to potential villains for next season, and that is of Godspeed. But seeing that they are now looking for a new actor to play that big bad, this would be a recast of Godspeed. As we did see the guy who was actually, August Hart, the real identity of Godspeed in the episode last season. But there is a big thing that needs to be taken into account when talking about Godspeed, and that was that he was from a future where Barry was gone, and one that Nora, the Nora that we hung out with in Season 5, existed. But the timeline has now changed due to the Dagger of Cicada being destroyed, so they could easily rework it that due to that timeline change, that Godspeed, instead of showing up in 2049, could instead be a thing in 2019. Of course, they could just bring time travel into it again, but the show time and time struggles again, or just struggles overall with time travel, especially when it is central to the main story or just to a character that's going to have a lot of focus. So maybe just having Godspeed now appear in 2019 and be created in 2019 would be the better way to go. And obviously, I would love for them to finally connect back to that Speed Force storm at the end of season 3. That happened and we literally got nothing from it. I'd love if they actually finally connected that to Godspeed, but who knows? I just want that Speed Force storm to be connected to someone. Now, next up is another character that was brought to our attention and made us all go, wow, that would be an interesting character to bring into the show, and that is, of course, that of Red Death, or the Red Death. So this character was first referenced, well, only referenced up to this point when we saw a young Nora in the Flash Museum, where we had Captain Singh on a video talking about Cicada's kill count, which was apparently more than what the Red Death had caused. And Red Death was referred to as if they were like quite the big deal and did like a decent amount of damage. So whenever the character was to show up and be like, yo, what's up? Then it would be quite the devastating period in Central City's history. Obviously the change in timeline, events now due to the dagger would have some effect on Red Death as well, but you wouldn't expect them to name drop Red Death and then not do anything with him. This could be seen as like a DeVoe-like name drop, and with the new actor casting, this could mean Red Death, as I think it's pretty obvious they aren't going to do anything like what Red Death is in the comics. So, no Bruce Wayne or Batman mixed with the Flash, or Arrow mixed with the Flash, or Batwoman mixed with the Flash, or any variant to that. It seems it will be someone completely different if they do use him as a villain. Now, Cobalt Blue has been a villain that has been up for the running for the main villain for a season since, well, the conclusion of season 1, when we saw Eddie Thawne get sucked into the singularity, and the show sort of made that a focus of the conclusion of that season. The reasoning that Eddie, Thawne was connected to all of that is due to Cobalt Blue being Malcolm Thawne in the comics, who is an ancestor of Eobard Thawne's. Now, to keep it short and sweet and simple, Malcolm was Barry Allen's long-lost twin who got the bad side of life, being stuck with crappy parents and a crappy life, while Barry had the good life. Malcolm eventually learns of it all, sets out to make Barry's life not that great, and he also knows that Barry is the Flash. But by the time he gets around to getting revenge on Barry, Barry has already taken quite the fat L and died in crisis, so Malcolm just sets his sights on Barry's loved ones. In the show, Eddie would have worked well for this character and that sort of storyline, seeing that Barry was hailed as like the hero, when it was really Eddie at the end of season 1 that finished it all off and was actually the hero. So a reborn Eddie would be fairly triggered by all of this. A twin of Barry on the show would suck Bebo balls. We saw season 3, so let's please not get that again. But if they made Cobalt Blue just another character that is maybe centered on ruining the Flash rather than Barry Allen, then Cobalt Blue could easily work for that reason as well. Now, the second last potential villain I have is that of a twisted up version of Inertia from the comics. I think with how the show is set up currently and what we have had in the past, especially in season 5, I think it would be quite hard to do Inertia on the show exactly like he is in the comics. And by that, I mean it would be pretty hard to make Inertia a clone of Bart Allen, the grandson of Barry and Iris. And the reason I say it wouldn't work that well and be a bit hard is just due to the fact that you would probably have to introduce Bart onto the show as well to have that version of Inertia work. And, well, in season 5 of The Flash, they literally had the female version of Bart Allen in the form of Nora Allen. They could go down a route where we have a female version of Inertia and it's just a clone of Nora, or, a clone of Barry and Iris' daughter from this new timeline that still looks like Nora and is played by Jessica Parker Kennedy. Or even they could have Inertia from another Earth if they wanted to, who is, like an evil version of Nora. Because as we had mentioned previously in other videos, Jessica Parker Kennedy returning was teased by the outgoing showrunner, so that could still happen. Inertia has been a character that people have wanted to show up in some capacity, but I think that want and need for Inertia was sort of tied into having Bart Allen on the show as well. But as I said, they're casting a male big bad, so this female sort of a version of Inertia, if they wanted to use it, would be for a later season. But if they wanted to do the male version, it's a diverse character, maybe a mixed character, so maybe it could be Inertia. I don't know. And finally, the last option for the villain for the next season to wrap up the video is a bit of an odd one, and easily, maybe tied with Inertia, like the female one I guess, is the least likely of the bunch, but could still work on the show, is that of Turbine. And you might be thinking to yourself, what the hell? You want some good stuff from Apartment 4, Pagey? Who the hell is Turbine? Well, Turbine is otherwise known as Roscoe Hines, who was a pilot who went missing in the mid-1940s, getting trapped in the Speed Force after, to the public, just mysteriously disappearing. Now, over his time in the Speed Force, he became like increasingly mentally unstable as time passed, and his desire to just want to come out and just go home became quite big, which mixed up with that mental instability wasn't the best. Now, during his time, he did gain powers from the Speed Force, but these really just produced like very powerful tornadoes that he could use in various ways, including making himself fly. Now, the cool thing they could do with this character would almost be like an anti or evil Captain America sort of story. So a guy lost from time, the mid-40s, awakening in the present day, or in the case of Turbine being released from the Speed Force in present day, not feeling like he belongs, but he has these new abilities, and he just goes about causing destruction due to being twisted from his time in exile, I guess you would call it. Maybe he feels like the Flash would be able to help him out, but the Flash doesn't want to do that, as he feels he'd be messing with time, which would just drive Turbine even crazier. It'd be the hard one to make a super interesting big bad, but it could still work. Maybe this is more of a half-season villain, though. I don't know, let me know your opinions. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. As I said, if you enjoyed it, it would be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know all of your various opinions on all of these different options. Which one do you like the best? And do you have any other options for who this potential big bad could be for Season 6? Let me know all of your various opinions down there in the comments section down below. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.